Discovering the Falls, Foz do Iguaçu. Hi everyone, today I'm going to tell you a story about my job as a tour guide in Foz do Iguaçu. It's a really amazing place, and I get to meet people from all over the world every day. Last week, I had the pleasure of guiding a lovely American couple, John and Mary, around the Falls National Park in Foz do Iguaçu City. They were visiting Brazil for the first time, and they were really excited to see the falls. John and Mary were both in their early 50s and seemed like they had a real passion for nature. I picked them up from their hotel in the morning, and we drove to the park. On the way, we talked about their trip so far and what they were hoping to see at the falls. They told me they had heard a lot about the falls and were eager to experience them for themselves. When we arrived at the park, we started our tour. I showed them the different viewpoints of the falls, and we talked about the history of the park and the indigenous people who have lived in the area for centuries. John and Mary were fascinated by the stories I told them. As we walked along the trails, we had a great conversation about the importance of preserving our natural environment. John told me about some of the environmental challenges facing the United States, such as climate change and pollution. Mary shared her concerns about deforestation and the loss of biodiversity. I was impressed by their knowledge and commitment to environmental protection. I told them about some of the efforts being made in Brazil to protect the Amazon rainforest and other important ecosystems. We also talked about the similarities between the environmental challenges facing our two countries. After our tour, we had lunch at a restaurant near the park. Over lunch, we continued our conversation about the environment. John and Mary asked me about my life in Brazil and how I felt about living in such a beautiful country. I told them that I was very grateful to have the opportunity to live in Foz do Iguaçu and to share its natural beauty with visitors from all over the world. At the end of the day, I dropped John and Mary off at their hotel. They thanked me for a wonderful tour and said they would never forget their experience at Iguaçu Falls. I was so happy to have had the chance to meet them and to share my love for Brazil and its natural wonders. I often think about how lucky I am to have this job. I get to meet people from all over the world, learn about different cultures, and make a positive impact on the environment. And of course, I get to spend my days surrounded by some of the most beautiful natural scenery in the world. What's more, every time I chat with native English speakers, I get better at understanding and speaking English.